First one in Pettis County, this capable of producing half-dollar size hail. This storm moving to the southeast in Sedalia at 10:10. Particularly important for those of you at the Missouri State Fair looking at the rest of the track of that. Lake Creek at 10:27 and Stover at 10:43. If this continues to lose strength, you can see in the latest update taking the northern portion off of that warning. That severe thunderstorm warning, Kenton, 70-mile-per-hour winds are possible and half-dollar size hail. That warning is for Camden, Marys, Miller, and Morgan County until 3:30. So we are watching that. And it's also worth noting that after this main line of storms moves through, the tornado watch is being canceled. Let's go ahead and put that up on the screen. Pettis, Saline,
and Saline
have been removed from the tornado watch. So that is great news at this time. So after this line of storms passes through, it looks like the severe weather threat is really diminishing. So that's great news to have right now. Lightning can strike 10 miles any direction out of a storm. So if you can hear thunder, you are close enough to get struck by lightning. So that is something we definitely want to remind you about. When thunder roars, head indoors. And we've seen this line of severe thunderstorm warnings. That's what you're looking at in the screen beside me, and that is moving into the lake area. So we are watching this very closely. We're also continuing to watch a tornado warning. That cold front will start to move in anytime around 6, 7 o'clock. So that's when I want you to check in with us. Check in with us tonight at 6 for the latest forecast. At 7:30, you can see these isolated showers and thunderstorms. If there is a time for there to be any tornadic activity, I do think that would be the time frame is when these supercells are very isolated. Now, as we go later into the afternoon and into the evening hours, 10 o'clock, they form more of a line as they start to move through Colombia, up through Mexico and Bowling Green. That's when the damaging wind and hail threat becomes a little more prevalent. And again, that is the main concern. By 11:30, they push off further to the south, and we'll still see some renegade showers through Sunday morning. As we go into Sunday afternoon, though, we are going to clear out, and it's going to be on our way to a hard freeze tonight. That cloud cover is pushed out of mid-Missouri, and now we are going to see those clear skies throughout the overnight hours. As I mentioned, we are on our way to a freeze tonight. We do have a freeze warning in effect for most of our viewing area until 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Notice how our northwest counties aren't included in this freeze warning. It's not because it's not going to be cold there. It's just because they've already seen their first freeze of the year. Usually we only see freeze warnings issued for that first freeze. We are seeing slow going, especially on Highway 63 this morning. Looking at our roads right now, we are actually driving up on where we saw that turnover accident earlier this morning, and it looks like that has been cleared. Emergency vehicles no longer on scene. Now, that was over an hour ago that we saw that now, but it's worth noting that Highway 63 is actually in worse conditions than some of the secondary streets we've been on. Roads right now are mostly wet, but we're actually seeing some sleet-covered roadways in some spots. We're actually turning onto Rogers Street right now in Columbia, Missouri, and you can see where we could miss out on a lot of this. So here's what we know. A system will likely move through the middle part of the country Monday into Wednesday of next week. The most likely day for us to have an impact is on Tuesday, and you should expect changes to our forecast. Of course, we still don't know the timing, strength, and location of the heaviest snowfall, or if we will see a wintry mix with this. So be sure to stay tuned with us here on KMU8 News, and you can also download the free KMU8 Weather and Traffic app for the latest information. The good news is that cloud cover's with us, and temperatures aren't really going to fall off much throughout the overnight hours, and that's going to keep everything falling from the sky as rain, at least for a majority of mid-Missouri. So as we go through the day, this high-pressure system pushes off to the south. That's when those winds become southwesterly. That helps those temperatures warm by this afternoon into the middle 20s. By midday, we're looking at temperatures in the mid to upper 60s as this cold front pushes through the region. Now, depending on the timing of this cold front, we could see those temperatures a few degrees warmer or colder than this. So make sure you check in with Sydney Jackson tomorrow morning. She'll have the latest on that. But then as we go into the afternoon, that cold front pushes through and temperatures fall off. As that cold front moves through, we could see some showers across the region. Tracking that out on our precip cast hour by hour. 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, you can see that light rain across a good chunk of the region. I think that cloud cover and that rain really prohibits any thunderstorms from developing. Dew points are like a muggy meter. The higher the number, the more uncomfortable it feels. And currently this morning at 5:39, we have a dew point of 69 in Columbia, 67 in Jefferson City, and 68 down at the Lake of the Ozarks, 70 over in Clinton. And looking looking at our dew point scale, just to put this in perspective, that is sticky to uncomfortable. So we're pretty much right on the border here. Yesterday we were uncomfortable, so we do have a little less humidity today. And as we go through the next few days, we'll slowly start to see that humidity decreasing. But until then, it is going to be feeling hot and humid. Today, our average high temperature right around 76 degrees. Today we're going to hit 92 degrees. It's the first day of fall, but it's feeling much more like summer. A heat index high of 97 degrees. Saturday, we're feeling a little cooler, less humidity, feeling like 94 degrees. It is week 6 of Friday Night Fever. Hard to believe we're already at week 6, and it's going to be a warm one. Keep in mind, our average high temperature for this time of year is 77 degrees. At the first quarter, we're going to be near 85 degrees, still feeling like the lower 90s. Looking at your roads right now, all is clear. Lots of green on the map, only seeing those slowdowns in those typical places along Stadium and along Providence as well. Same thing in Jefferson City. Smooth sailing out there. Not even seeing slowdowns in the typical places there. Maybe some folks are taking the day off to enjoy those warmer temperatures. 52 degrees, mostly sunny skies today. Cloud cover build. Our humidity values at 5,000 feet in the atmosphere. Now, what we want to see for cloud cover to develop is relative humidity values around 70%. As you can see by the color coding here, this white shading, that's very dry air that's going to continue to stay over mid-Missouri as we go through a good chunk of the overnight hours. But by 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, off to our west, notice this moisture. That's where we're going to see cloud cover developing and probably mostly cloudy skies. As we go through the day in mid-Missouri, this moisture starts to creep in and we'll start to see some cloud cover developing across the region. Let's track it out for you hour by hour on Weathercast as we go through the overnight hours. 8 o'clock in the morning, clear skies, a lot of sunshine here in mid-Missouri, but here's that cloud cover off to our west where we have that moisture going into starting to shift, and that's going to help bring warmer temperatures as we go through the afternoon. Currently, those winds are out of the southwest. That's a warm weather direction, and it's just the start of a warm-up that we're going to be seeing over the next few days. We'll talk about that after the break. Continue to fall throughout the overnight hours to about 30 degrees, but then cloud cover will build throughout the day tomorrow as temperatures warm into the lower 50s. But there are chances of flurries in our forecast. Yes, for tomorrow night. We'll track it hour by hour coming up in my full forecast in the next few minutes.
First Saturday of the new year, and it is obviously still cold, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately it's cold, but a warm-up is coming. But first, we have a little bit of wintry weather to talk about in the forecast for tomorrow. So make sure you stay tuned with us to the first week of 2018. Temperatures already falling off to the single digits. 2 degrees in Columbia. We're close to 0, but if it makes you feel better looking at the national temperatures, we are not alone in these cold temperatures. We have this big dome of high pressure to the north, and that's stable atmosphere, but we also see clockwise flow around this, and that's pulling in that Arctic air from Canada, and that's going to be in place throughout the overnight hours. We're expecting wind chills to range from -15 to -30 degrees. And at those temperatures, frostbite can happen within 30 minutes. So our storm mode index is at a level 2 tonight. Now, we do have wind chill warnings in effect for a good chunk of our viewing area. You can see those shaded in purple here. That wind chill warning is in effect through noon tomorrow, and then a wind chill advisory will kick in as we go through noon on Tuesday. So the cold air is here to stay. Let's track out those wind chills hour by hour as we ring in the new year. -15 to -25 for many of us, but it gets even colder as we go into sunrise. Some of our northern counties could see wind chills as low as -30 degrees, around -27 in Moberly at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, around -22 to -25 here in Columbia. As we go through the midday hours, we're starting to warm up a little bit, but still well below 0. And for our northern counties, still feeling like around -10 degrees, and it doesn't get better as we go into the afternoon hours. Still seeing those wind chills below 0, and that's why that wind chill advisory does continue through Tuesday at noon. Tuesday morning, wind chills ranging from -5 to -15 degrees across the region. And then as we go into midday Tuesday, we're going to finally see those wind chills return to the single digits on the positive side. Around 5 in Columbia is what it will feel like. Temperatures will warm into the upper teens Tuesday afternoon, but because we have those wind chills below 0, we are keeping that storm mode index at a level 1 through noon on Tuesday. So make sure you stay tuned with us and make sure you bundle up as you're headed out. The weather pattern is going to continue to be cold over the next few days, but look what happens as we go into early next week. We start to get into some westerly and southwesterly flow. That's a warmer weather direction, and with that, we could see temperatures return to the 30s. But as we know, it's still January, so we are going to see more Arctic blasts likely in the future. For tonight, storm mode index at 2, -8. Our low temperature, again, those wind chills ranging from -15 to -30 degrees. Tomorrow afternoon, a high temperature of 8 degrees, plenty of sunshine out there. Tuesday, we're near 19 degrees, still seeing plenty of sunshine. Wednesday, we're mostly sunny, high temperatures returning to the lower 20s. And by the time Thursday comes around, we're going to fall off a little bit. It's going to be another cold morning with low temperatures near 3. But then by the time the weekend comes around, those 30s are back in our forecast.
And that's more average for this time of year, right?
Yeah, average is 38 degrees. So as we get to those upper 30s, it'll feel very seasonal. Very warm compared to 0 degrees.
All right, thanks, Matt.
He's actually in Mali, where it is a balmy 68 degrees. He's probably sweating a little bit right now. Your Christmas planner, we start near 14 degrees, feeling like 8 by the afternoon hours, feeling like 25 degrees with a high temperature right around 32 degrees. On Tuesday, we're much cooler, back to 20 degrees is our high temperature, and those cooler temperatures are going to be sticking with us throughout the next several days.
So I guess this qualifies as a white Christmas, even though there's no snow tomorrow, but this obviously this snow is still going to be on the ground tomorrow.
As long as there's an inch on the ground tomorrow morning at 6 a.m., it's a white Christmas.
It's a white Christmas.
But if not, it's close enough.
It's close enough.
It's close enough.
All right, Matt, thank you very much. That is our time for now. Thanks for joining us.
Have a good night.